Hello, my name is Sarah Young, and welcome to the Republic of Cuba. Traveling aboard the Celestial Crystal with friends Daniel Somariba and Erwin, and participating in a people-to-people cultural exchange, we are able to enter Cuba as U.S. citizens. The first city that we visit in Cuba is Santiago de Cuba, known for its revolutionary history, its distinctive Afro-Cuban spirit, and extraordinary examples of colonial architecture. The decisive battle of the Spanish-American War, the Battle of San Juan Hill, was fought here in 1898. Known as the cradle of the Revolution, it was here in 1953 that Fidel and Raúl Castro commenced their assault on the Batista regime. Cuba's classic and most prevalent architectural styles are Baroque and Neoclassicism. The atmosphere and architecture is particularly stirring in the UNESCO-listed cities of Old Havana and Cienfuegos, both of which we will be able to visit on our journey. And there are thousands of vintage American cars that remain scattered throughout the country, being manufactured before the Revolution and subsequent U.S. embargo. Morro Castle guards the entrance to Havana, while the Carrera Marble Christ of Havana statue overlooks the city from a hilltop. Havana, a culturally rich urban center, is the capital of Cuba and is the largest city in the Caribbean. The historic neighborhood of Old Havana is a UNESCO World Heritage Site with over 900 landmarks, including the Presidential Palace and Cathedral Square. As we visit some of the cities in Cuba, the breadth of Cuba's heritage is amazing. Important historical heirlooms, forts, palaces, and colonial towns dominate the Cuban landscape. The Spanish, British, French, Chinese, Africans, Americans, and Cuba's native population have all influenced this culture. While history is treasured in Havana, culture is celebrated. The city boasts some of the best ballet schools and dance companies in the Caribbean. Dance is very important in Cuba, and it is the birthplace of classic dance styles such as the bolero, mambo, and cha-cha. The history of Havana includes its being used as a stomping ground for pirates, a fortified slave port for the Spanish, and a gambling capital for the American mafia. Although the name Revolution Square is linked to Fidel Castro and Che Guevara, the 358-foot Jose Marti Memorial is its focal point, as are statues of that national hero seen throughout the country. Built in 1930 as a copy of the Breakers Hotel in Palm Beach, Florida, the Hotel Nacional is one of Havana's architectural emblems. The island of Cuba is a long and narrow island. From the air, it is said to resemble a crocodile or alligator. It stretches 750 miles from east to west, but is only 60 miles wide in most places. The country also includes more than 4,000 other much smaller islands and cays. This 31,000-acre UNESCO Biosphere Reserve protects the mangroves, wildlife, and woodlands of the peninsula. Currently, Cuba has 9 sites on the UNESCO World Heritage List. 7 of these are cultural sites, and 2 of them are natural biosphere sites that protect the country's natural attractions. Cienfuegos, known as the Pearl of the South, was founded by the French in 1819 and later settled by French immigrants from Bordeaux and Louisiana. There is no question but that this country has suffered severely from the U.S. embargo, especially since the collapse of the Soviet bloc in the 1990s. Today, one of Cuba's primary trading partners is Venezuela, from whom they import petroleum products. Cuba exports to Venezuela doctors and other medical professionals. Education is important in Cuba. There is a 99.9% literacy rate. Our travels through this country have allowed us a brief glimpse as to the generous spirit of the Cuban people, to the art and culture of the country, its layered history, and of course, the music. As relations between the United States and Cuba begin to normalize, it has been a privilege to visit this beautiful country during this period of transition. It has been a great trip and an insightful journey. Thank you.